The year was 1983, and after 6 years, the story of Luke Skywalker ended, fulfilling his destiny and bringing back his father from the dark side. Many people questioned what was next for the infamous characters created by George Lucas. Answers to those questions were unknown. Lucas set his ideas on moving to a period before the original trilogy, expanding the fall of the Jedi and the rise of Darth Vader. However, 8 years later, the fans' questions would get an answer when infamous science fiction writer Timothy Zahn would answer such questions in his Empire trilogy. The first novel, Heir to the Empire, introduced fans to new and old characters, ones who would be loved and cherished for years to come, introducing the infamous Grand Admiral Thrawn and his estranged Dark Jedi Master Joruus C'baoth. He also created the long-recurring character Mara Jade, showing a universe trying to recover from the destructive effects of the Galactic Civil War and trying to officially restore peace and balance. This is my review of the Thrawn Trilogy. I was fully aware of books being another source of Star Wars media, but didn't know how large scale it actually was. In early 2023, I owned 6 canned Star Wars novels, which I never picked up an interest in, but one day I sat down and decided to read Ahsoka by E.K. Johnston, and then Aftermath by Chuck Wendig. That sudden burst of reading, accompanied by a surprise discovery of Dark Force Rising, the second book, from a local bookstall in a town market near me, it led me to now own 17 in this bit here, canon Star Wars books, as well as 34 legend Star Wars books. I read Heir to the Empire during my trip to America, which I finished in my first week, so the logical thing to do was to buy more books to preoccupy me on the flight home, thanks Dark Disciple. Upon returning, I took some time from reading and then got back into reading Dark Force as I began college, finishing it within 10 days of starting, which is great, and immediately starting The Last Command the week after, finishing it in a record time of 9 days. And my god, were they the best reads of my life. It was never much of a reader for the past 6 to 7 years. Having it forced upon me for a long time by school was not great. It just made me less interested in reading. So I know that people don't have the attention span to watch a review of something, so I'll give a short answer. It was a 9 out of 10. The characters introduced are well developed and have great moments, as well as the smuggler moments in Heir to the Empire and The Last Command. Great. Although great, it did have some flaws, like some chapters just sort of dragged for a bit, but other than that, it was an incredibly awesome story. So let's start with the positives. Let's start with the pros. First of all, Timothy Zahn is incredible at creating characters that feel very Star Wars. Talon Karrde is an incredibly well thought out smuggler, experiencing the power of the Empire through Thrawn in several ways, causing him to, although, pushing his belief of being neutral, siding with the New Republic to provide information for them. Moreover, Mara Jade is incredible in each chapter she's in. Her point of view is struggling to cope with the echoes of the Emperor's voice calling out to her and the belief that Luke Skywalker is the one who destroyed her life during the Battle of Endor. However, her time with Luke is incredible, going from enemies to friends. Secondly, the relationship between the characters of Leia and Han are one of my favourites. Leia and Han have such a simple but meaningful relationship, often squeezing each other's hands, and Han's constant worry for Leia and his unborn children is just so precious. As well as Luke and Mara's relationship, showing how he believes that Mara wouldn't be able to bring herself to kill Luke, and that, like his father, can see redemption within her. This also brings me to Mara's character arc. It's just so good. Going from this intimidating X-Force user to a protective Force wielder, going from being crippled with the thoughts of killing Luke and eventually protecting Luke and saving him from the clone of Luke, completing the Emperor's wishes alongside it and also freeing herself from her demons. Mara also being given Luke's original lightsaber also perfectly closes off Luke and Mara's past to look forward to a better future within a non-corrupt world. I also love how much they know about the prequels in this. You know, referencing the Clone Wars several times and the battles they fought. Also, knowing about the Purge of the Jedi and the details of cloning being lost to time, similar to what we saw in Season 1 of The Bad Batch. Obviously, you know, 9 out of 10 implies that there's some issues that I had with this, and really, there wasn't many. You know, it's a pretty great story, but, you know, not everything is perfect. One of the things I did find an issue was how little they knew about the prequels. That the issue being some moments seem a bit less connected from it, since it was unclear about the fall of the Jedi and the rise of the Empire, but they're such small details, it doesn't bother me all too much. Another thing I found a bit annoying was the lack of use of Chewbacca. He was there for protection and nothing more. Current canon in the Aftermath trilogy there places him on Kashyyyk fighting the Imperial slaves, whereas in this story they're all free. Chewie was he was useful, you know, but him being attached to Leia for 2 whole books, it was just a bit annoying, I guess. Yeah, it was just like, Chewbacca's just really cool in the films, but here he's just a bit like, go protect Leia. I get the whole life debt thing, but just go protect Leia. And lastly, Card goes on this big smuggler escapade to get information from Thrawn and help the New Republic, banding together with a bunch of others, but they just feel a bit plain, you know, like it's just all talk, and then this happens, and this happens. It's a bit like, but that's not all my feelings. Chapter 18 of The Last Command is by far one of my favourite chapters of the whole book, maybe even the whole trilogy, because it shows just Card's point of view on knowing that these smugglers have very little like trust in each other, like showing perfectly the whole system of the New Republic is built on this potential trust. And it was so perfect in showing just how smart he is as well, and how in the end it was just, I mean, it was useless in the end. That is one of the reasons it's on here, but it was just, I loved chapter 18. 20 pages of just some great well thought out moments. It's just one of the best in the whole trilogy. So, to summarise, I found this trilogy to be an incredible addition to the story of Star Wars, even though it is not canon anymore. It is some incredible character growth and explores feelings in a great way. If people are looking to get into Legends ahead of the Filoni movie, and to learn about the new ruler of the Empire, this is a great place to start. For reoccurring characters through more later Legends content, Mara Jade, I would recommend this to even the people who don't read. Like myself, I was that person, because once you get through the first 75 pages, it gets more and more interesting. It's great.